Everyone knows teenagers hate standardized tests. Isn't that right, T?
Yeah.
Well, it's not just teenagers being teenagers.
In fact, if a school does poorly on standardized testing, then their funding is cut.
That's right. But where is that report now?
That's what.
Well, thank you for watching TV with T and M on WHYY.
Hi, my name is TJ. I'm also reporting for WHYY's Young Journalist program. Every student in the School District of Philadelphia and public schools across the U.S. is subjected to standardized testing. In some classrooms, preparing for standardized testing has become more important than teaching necessary and valuable lessons.
A lot of people get stressed when they take tests, and especially tests that have time constraints. I always get stressed about time constraints, and then I'm more worried about doing the test and not about necessarily the content of the test.
Testing, basically, I've been told by my teachers that it's basically determining where you go in life. And I don't think that's fair because you're doing all these things to just prep for this single test. And if you screw up on it, then that just basically says where you're going to go for the rest of your life.
The Keystone tests, which are standardized assessments used in Pennsylvania, often take up weeks of school time.
The kids have basically testing the entire morning, and you can see that during those 2 weeks, they're just wiped out. They're tired, they're stressed out. If they haven't passed them yet, then they're extra worried, like, man, if I don't pass it again, then I got to go and take it again next year, and it's this whole process.
You could teach a student how to take a test effectively, and they could pass the test, and that doesn't necessarily say that they know the source material.
Standardized testing is especially difficult for mentally disabled students.
If you're someone who has trouble putting your thoughts together, then you have trouble taking tests and you have trouble showing what you know through a test.
In addition, standardized tests assess a narrow range of skills.
I think the standardized tests are really good at determining how good students are at taking multiple choice tests in a limited amount of time for high stakes, but I don't think that that's even a small percentage of what teaching and learning should really be about, what school should be about.
When tests have such high stakes, it can affect the lessons in the classroom.
When all of your learning is directed towards a certain test, what happens is teachers figure out what's on that test and they teach that. And so what happens is that learning isn't for learning's sake or for intellectual development or for mastery of the subject. It's for mastery of the objective of taking a test. So they're not going to get a chance to demonstrate how much they know about biology. They're going to demonstrate how well they can do on a standardized test within a fixed amount of time.
And the results of these flawed tests determine vital results.
The more that they can make those things standardized, the more they can have numbers, and they can show the numbers to the lawmakers, and they can say, okay, that school district's doing great, or that school district's doing crappy, or whatever. And here's your money, or we're going to take away your money.
Because of a religious exemption law in Pennsylvania, parents are allowed to opt their child out of Keystones. But as the opt-out movement grows, Josh Yarden, an educational consultant, believes that these assessments are prone to change.
Change, in some cases with political wins, in some cases almost like a fad. And so you pretty much know that when an educational reform decision is made, it's temporary. And the question is it going to pass really quickly, or is it going to take 10 years, or is it going to take 20 years? It's not going to take 50 years.
Pendulum went really hard this way because of the data. People are now pushing back. 10 years from now, when I retire, it's going to be, who knows what assessment's going to be like.
The standardized testing we have now may continue to be implemented or may fade into something new. One thing is for certain: standardized testing is here to stay.